A car company CEO just spent 13 hours live streaming a desert road trip, and it might be the most important EV infrastructure move of the year. Li Bin, the CEO of NIO, recently climbed into one of his own cars and drove the entire length of the Hexi Corridor, that narrow strip of land in northwest China that the ancient Silk Road ran through, while live streaming the whole thing for 13 consecutive hours. His own employees started calling him stainless steel, because apparently normal humans tap out before hour 8. Now, I want to be clear, this was not a PR gimmick dressed up as an adventure. The drive was a formal verification run, meaning Li Bin was personally signing off that every battery swap station along that route was operational, staffed, and ready for real customers. I think that distinction matters enormously. When was the last time you saw the CEO of Volkswagen or BMW personally drive a route to certify infrastructure? It doesn't happen because those companies outsource charging to third parties and call it a day. NIO built the stations, owns the stations, and apparently the CEO inspects the stations himself. That is a fundamentally different philosophy, and the Hexi Corridor route going live is the proof of concept. Let me give you the geography, because it actually makes this impressive. The Hexi Corridor is roughly 1,000 kilometers long, sandwiched between the Tibetan Plateau to the south and the Gobi Desert to the north. Towns out here are sparse, temperatures swing wildly, and the logistics of getting equipment, power connections, and trained staff to each location are genuinely difficult. One of the stops on Li Bin's route was Yumen. Yes, the same Yumen that was China's first industrial oil well site, a place that became symbolic of industrial grit in the mid-20th century. I'd argue NIO chose to highlight that stop deliberately. They're drawing a line from old-school energy infrastructure to new energy infrastructure and saying, we're doing the hard thing, not the easy thing. Now, I'll admit I was skeptical a year ago when NIO announced aggressive rural expansion targets. I thought the economics wouldn't work outside dense urban areas. But looking at this Hexi route, I think I underestimated how seriously they were treating swap coverage as a competitive moat rather than a cost center. For comparison, Tesla's Supercharger network is genuinely excellent along major corridors in Europe and the US, but it is not trying to reach every county seat in Kazakhstan-adjacent terrain. NIO is. Here is the number that should make every Western EV executive uncomfortable. NIO has publicly stated it intends to achieve battery swap coverage at the county level across most Chinese provinces within 2 years. China has roughly 2,800 county-level administrative units. That is not a typo. To put that in perspective, the entire United Kingdom has fewer than 400 local authority districts, and getting reliable fast charging across all of them is still a live political debate in 2025. NIO is targeting a country with 7 times as many administrative subdivisions in 2 years with a technology, battery swapping, that requires a physical building, robotic equipment, and a battery inventory at every single node. I think the ambition is either visionary or reckless, and honestly, I'm not certain which yet. The capital expenditure required is staggering. NIO has not been consistently profitable, and this kind of infrastructure push burns cash fast. But here's the strategic logic I can't dismiss. If you complete that network before any competitor does, you have built something that cannot be replicated quickly. It becomes a switching cost. Once a NIO owner knows they can swap batteries in Dunhuang or Zhongyan on a road trip, they are not switching to a brand without that coverage. That is the bet Li Bin is making, and the 13-hour live stream is how he tells the market he's serious about it. So where does this leave us? I think NIO has made a strategic choice that almost no other automaker, Chinese or Western, is willing to make. They've decided that owning the infrastructure is the product, not just the car. The Hexi Corridor route is a signal to Chinese consumers that NIO will go places other brands won't, literally. And the CEO doing a 13-hour verification live stream is a signal to employees, investors, and competitors that this is not a slide deck strategy. It's a physical commitment. Will it work financially? I genuinely don't know. The 2-year county coverage goal is aggressive to the point where I'd want to see quarterly progress numbers before I'd call it achievable. And NIO still faces real competition from BYD's massive sales volume and from fast-charging networks that are getting faster every year. 800-volt architecture is closing the speed gap that made swapping attractive in the first place. But here's my honest take. What Li Bin did on that desert road was remind people that building something hard, in hard places, is itself a form of brand differentiation. Whether you're buying a NIO or not, that deserves respect. Drop a comment below. Do you think battery swapping has a future outside China, or is fast charging just going to win eventually? I read every reply. If you want to follow how China's EV infrastructure race plays out, and whether NIO's county coverage bet actually lands, subscribe and hit the bell. And seriously, tell me in the comments, do you think battery swapping can ever work at scale outside China, or is it a uniquely Chinese solution to a Chinese problem?